Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video I will go through the changelog of the new version which has just been released, which is version 1.42.0. Let's start with the biggest change, which is the implementation of WebRTC. First of all, thanks a lot to Matt from codec.live who has contributed this new feature to BUD. And for those who don't know what WebRTC is, it's basically a more or less new streaming protocol, which is known for its very low latency, which can be lower than 500 milliseconds, whereas the latency for Icecast and Shoutcast plays in the area of multiple seconds. Adding a new WebRTC server is as simple as adding a Shoutcast or Icecast server. So just go to Settings, click on Add, now select WebRTC, and here you can enter all the needed information you got from your WebRTC hoster. Because of the low latency of WebRTC, it is very reliant on the extremely good internet connection. And by that I mean not only the connection from your computer to your internet router or modem, but also from your router to the server and from the server to your listeners. So you should expect that there are some dropouts in the signal now and then. So I would not recommend to use WebRTC for music, but only for voice, because for voice only streams it's acceptable to have audio dropout now and then. So in my opinion, the best use case for WebRTC is if you want to do live commentary on sports events or similar. Okay, that's it for the WebRTC part. Now let's go through the other changes. You can now change the update rate for the listener counter, which is displayed here. To change the update rate, simply go to the GUI tab, and now you can change the update rate here to any number of seconds you like. Another change is that BUD now sends the bitrate in the HTTP header. So what does that mean? If you go to the status page of Icecast, you now see the bitrate displayed here. Okay, the change fix update devices button does not need much explanation. It's simply that the update devices button here did not work properly on earlier versions. As you have probably already recognized, the VU meter has a better visibility now. In versions before, it was constructed of many vertical lines, and now it's just a solid rectangle, which should help in better visibility. In case you are not happy with the default colors and the thresholds, you can change them now. For that, just go to the GUI tab again, and now you can change the colors here. For example, if you want to have the green area, let's say blue, you can do this now. Just select the color, press OK, and now it's blue. For those of you who are not very happy with the default threshold values where the color changes from one to the other, you can now change the thresholds as well. So to demonstrate this, first let me increase the volume so I do not have to scream at you. As you can see, currently the color changes from blue to yellow at minus 12 dB and from yellow to red at minus 6 dB. So if you think minus 12 dB is too high, I want to have the transition already at minus 24 dB, you can simply change it in this input field. Now, as you can see, the color changes from blue to yellow already at minus 24 dB. The threshold for the blue color is always minus 54 dB. You cannot change this. The next change is also related to the VU meter, and what has changed here now is that the sorry, let me first decrease the volume again so I can show it you a little bit better. The peak hold bar, which is the black vertical bar you can see here, now shows the momentary peak of the audio signal. Before this version, the peak hold bar has always indicated an average value over the last 50 milliseconds, so it was not very accurate. Now it's much more accurate, so you can really see when clipping occurs or not. The next 4 changes are related to automatic streaming, recording, and signal detection. If you had automatic recording activated here, and for some reason the recording failed to start, then the automatic recording did also not work even if you have solved the issue. So now this should work again. Another change is that you can now have a detection time as low as 100 milliseconds. In the previous version, the lowest value was 1 second. The signal detection level is now always based on the streaming volume. What does this mean? This means simply that before this version, the detection levels that you have set here were based on which tab you have selected here. So if you had recording selected, the detection levels were based on the recording volume, and if you had streaming selected, the detection levels were based on the streaming volume. This doesn't make a difference as long as you have the same volumes for streaming and recording set in the mixer, but as soon as you have different gains set here, then it would make a difference and it could be a little bit confusing. So now the signal detection levels are always based on the streaming volume, regardless which tab is selected here. In the previous version, there was a bug that caused that the automatic streaming and recording did not work after you have activated it. So if this value was set to 0 and you have selected activated this checkbox here, it has switched to 1 second, and actually it did not work. To make it work, you needed to change the value manually in this input field, and then it worked, but it did not work after simply activating this checkbox. The next 2 changes are for the Mac OS users only. The first change is that I have reduced the CPU usage on macOS, which is on my Apple Silicon M1 Max. I have reduced it by about 10 to 15%. So this might be interesting for all the Mac users. The next change will also make many of the macOS users happy, because now you can close BUD simply by pressing Command Q. So it behaves like any other macOS application as well. For easier access to the BUD manual and to the YouTube channel, I have added 2 buttons here. So if you click on them, they will open the manual in the browser, and if you click the YouTube button, it will open the YouTube channel. Another minor change is that now if you select the AAC codec and you did not have installed the library yet, it will show you an alert where you can directly access the manual. Right before this version, the alert just said that you should read the instructions in the manual, but now you can simply open the manual and click on the install or AAC libraries here. And now you have the instructions for your operating system on how to install AAC. The last change is not really important, but it's still a change, so I have listed it here. What does it mean? So if you have, for example, selected a UI element here and now press the tab button, you can see that the selection of the UI element follows a specific order. In previous version, the order was kind of random, so you were not able to switch from one to the other element just by pressing the tab button. Alright, now we have gone through all new changes of the new version 1.42.0. Please let me know in the comments if you think that these kind of videos make sense and if I should create a video for each new release I publish. Thank you very much for watching and I wish you a nice day. Bye bye.